Okay, so first of all, I'm going to type equals py and open brackets, and this will put us into Python mode in Excel. So we can now use Python code to combine these tables together. I'm going to type pd, and this stands for pandas, and pandas is a package inside of Python, and we can use this to combine our tables together. So I'll do pd.merge, and then with merge we need a set of brackets, and inside of these brackets we need to put data frame 1 and data frame 2 separated by a comma. And data frame 1 in my case is going to be this table here, and then data frame 2 is going to be this table here. Then to run the Python code in Excel, we need to use the keyboard shortcut Control-Enter. This gets us a Python data frame. In order to see the actual table, we need to change the output here to Excel value. By default, merge uses a inner join. So what it is doing in this case is looking for the columns that appear in both tables, and that's student ID for me. Then it takes all of the student ID numbers that are in both tables, and then uses the left and right table to fill in the name and class columns with the corresponding values in those rows. So we end up with a table which is shorter than both of the other tables. There are multiple different types of joins. You can have an inner join, which only includes values that appear in both tables. You can have an outer join, which includes all of the values in both tables. You can have a left join, which includes everything in the left table, but only includes values in the right table if they match values in the left table. And then you can have a right join, which is the opposite of that, and includes everything in the right table, but only includes values from the left table if they match values in the right table. In order to change the join type in merge, we need to do how and equals, and this is how we want to merge the tables. And there are multiple different options. Inner is the default, so I'll choose outer, and then Control-Enter to run this. And this is now including all of the values from both tables. So we end up with a table which is longer than both of our other tables. And actually, in my case, the only student ID which appears in the right table but not the left table is 1990. So you can see 1990 here is the only one which doesn't have a name. Then we can change this to left and Control-Enter. And now we end up with a table which is the same length as the left table, and it includes all of the values in the left table, and then uses the right table to fill in the class column. Then we can change this to right. And now we have a table which is the same length as the right table, and includes all of the values in the right table, and then uses the left table to fill in the name column. Then the final type of join is a cross. And this takes the first row in the left table and repeats it for the number of rows in the right table. And then we get a copy of all the values from the right table here. Then it takes the second row in the left table and repeats that for the number of rows in the right table. And then we get another repeat of the right table. And that pattern continues all the way down the table. I'm going to change this back to an outer join. And then if we want to hide the error values, we can do fillna, and then in brackets and in quotation marks we can put in what we want to replace the errors with. So I'm going to put in the word unknown, and then unknown appears wherever we previously had an error. We can use merge to combine tables side by side, but if we want to stack tables one on top of the other, we need to use concat. So I'll do equals py and tab to put us into Python mode again. Then I'll type pd, so we're still using pandas, but this time we'll do .concat. And this stands for concatenation, but it's different to the concat function that is normally in Excel. With the Python version, we can use concat to combine tables together. So in this case, we need brackets, then we need a set of square brackets, and inside here we put the first data frame and the second data frame separated by a comma. Then the first data frame will be replaced with this table here, and the second data frame will be replaced with this table here, and then Control Enter. This gets us a Python data frame, but we can show the actual table by right-clicking and going to Python output and changing it to Excel value. With concat, it will add in an index column. So these are the row numbers for the first table and then the row numbers for the second table. And the row numbering starts at 0. And by default, concat uses an outer join, so it includes everything from both tables and stacks them on top of each other. For this column here, it appears in the first table but not in the second table, so we get number errors here. Then for this column, it appears in the second table but not the first table, so we get number errors here. You can change the join type in concat by doing join equals to and then in quotation marks putting the join that you want, but you only have two options in this case. You can have either an outer join or an inner join. And with an inner join, that will include only columns that appear in both tables. I'm going to undo that. Then if you want to hide the index column, we need to do ignore underscore index equals true and then Control Enter. And that removes the index column. It also messes up my number formatting, so let me just quickly fix that. And then if we want to hide the errors, we can do that in the same way we did before with fillna. And this time I'll just put in quotation marks with nothing in between to replace the errors with blank cells. Okay, so in this video I have shown you how to use Python to combine tables in Excel, and that is everything.